Hello, booktube. Recently, this channel reached 19,000 subscribers, mind-boggling number, and I didn't thank you. It just slipped my mind to thank you for that. So I wanted to do that in this video and also to offer a broader thanks for these last 8 years. Those of you who have been watching this channel longer than a year will know that it's around the middle of December that I start to fade away. You Whovians out there refer to it as my regeneration, where I disappear for the end of the year. And I think this video will be that. So I wanted to take the opportunity, as I always do, to thank you on a much broader level for these last 8 years, for this amazing gift that BookTube has been. A thing that I thought would be little. Originally, I thought it would be little. I thought it would be a small thing, maybe a small benefit, maybe a small irritation, but definitely that the stakes would be small, that the personal investment would be small. I didn't rank it against all the other bookish things in my life. I'm a book section editor. I'm a book review freelancer. I have lots and lots of bookish friends. I thought this will be an extra thing, much like, for instance, a Twitter account or an Instagram account. But it quickly became more than that for me. It quickly became something very unexpected. I was not expecting that any part of the internet could be real. And this turned out to be that. BookTube turned out to be real. A whole gigantic chorus of different voices reading and enthusing or hating a whole bunch of different things. A gigantic, vibrant, bookish conversation, the like of which I was not expecting to find on a video sharing platform. Maybe that's foolish in retrospect, but I wasn't expecting to find it. And I found so much. We have had so much fun on this channel. Those of you who have been here for a very long time saw me through the loss of my earlier dogs and the introduction of my new dog, who is now slowly approaching the middle of her life. These are long stretches of time. You did all sorts of BookTube events with me and BookTube staples like tags or hauls, or we did read-alongs that were so much fun. Those metamorphosed into read-alouds where I read you books, giving them lots and lots of Steve annotation along the way, at your encouragement. We did raucous live streams. Again, a thing that not only did I never thought I would do it, I certainly never thought I would enjoy it. And yet they were wonderful fun. And along the way, connections were made. That's the thing that's astonishing me now as I look back on it, is that real connections were made. I started to notice repeating commenters, people who showed up in my comments field, almost always with interesting things to say. And once I started putting my email on my videos, I started getting tons and tons of correspondence. I do get tons and tons of correspondence from people. All kinds of people, all kinds of subjects. You did me the honor of taking me literally when I said that I want to hear about anything. It doesn't have to be about books. It certainly doesn't have to be about my latest video. It can be about anything that you want to talk about. A lot of you have taken me up on that offer, and it's been wonderful. A lot of you followed me to Substack, where I revived my literary blog, Steve Reads. A lot of you followed me to Blue Sky, the alternative to Twitter. A lot of you before that, in the years before that, followed me to all the other various social media platforms and extended correspondence, epistolary friendship in my inbox, which was wonderful. You did me the huge, huge favor of letting me send you things, letting me send you books, which was incredible. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I suddenly had my little black book of addressees suddenly was hugely increased. And you did me the favor of sending me stuff yourself, whether it's illicit gifts that break rule number 1 or gifts of tech, some staggering gifts of tech. For some, I'm very tech greedy. I admit that. I love it. I love experimenting with all these different devices, and that's made a huge amount of fun in the last few years. And you've also called in credit at the Brattle Bookshop many times. That has also been surreal. I took a good deal of good-natured ribbing from the folks at the Brattle about that. It's still a lot of fun. It still makes me dance with glee when I walk in and there's a new credit for me waiting at the register. That because at the Brattle Bookshop, I know I'm going to find something, and I know it's going to be something that interests me. So that is above and beyond the call to do that, whether I suggest it or not. And a small number of you have come over here. A small number of you have visited Hyde Cottage, or let me visit you with Frida in tow for actual face-to-face meetings. What BookTube, not always to my pleasure, refers to as meetups. It sounds like you're trying to increase each other's content or viewership, when really it's just been friendship. And it's been wonderful. And some of those meetings have been repeated. Some of them have led to relationships that are very real world, and probably permanent. At that moment, Mark Richardson and David Murphy both simultaneously groaned a little and reached for the whiskey. But it's true, and it's been totally unlooked for. I approached BookTube largely the way I think everybody does, as a parasocial thing. I'm seeing people on a screen. I'm getting to know a little bit about their personality, whatever they choose to show me. But there will always be that remove. This isn't real. I went in, I confess, even to BookTube, assuming that what I was seeing from the person on screen was also not real. And that the way they would be when the camera is off would be very different. And I was very happy to be proven wrong. I was very happy to know that this was for these 8 years a road to real things. All of those things were real, and they were wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So that it quickly reached a point, and has been true for years, that when I swung my feet around, put them on the floor first thing in the morning, once my dogs and then my singular dog were ready to get up and go about their day, one of the things that I looked forward to most in that moment was, what am I going to do with BookTube? What am I going to talk about with my imaginary BookTube friends? And here today, we reached the end of another year of that. I wanted, in addition to, frankly, the unreal number of 19K, I also wanted to thank you for that, for the experience of BookTube, for all that we've shared and had, all the fun that we've had. Probably the most priceless gift in all that time is how many of you get my sense of humor. That is so rare. And in my life, that has been so rare. Dogs understand it right away, but humans almost never get my sense of humor. And here, hundreds and hundreds of people. It's been just inebriating in the best possible way. So I'm going to wrap up this video, but I wanted to thank you for a subscriber milestone, of course. I know I've said over the years that those don't matter and shouldn't matter. I think plenty of people, even in our little corner of BookTube, put too much emphasis on it, but it's still a staggering number. So I wanted to thank you for that, but more importantly, I wanted to thank you for all of this, for just all of this, from me and Frida. I wanted to thank you all for all of this. So I'll wrap this up now. Goodbye, BookTube.